Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm from amandacrochets.com, and in today's tutorial I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful fall throw blanket. With the upcoming fall season, I wanted to make something that you could just cuddle up with on the couch while you're watching TV or reading your book or even sipping some tea, coffee, or hot chocolate. So I came up with this fall blanket. And this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, as I don't usually make anything with these colors, but I really wanted to challenge myself, especially since I wanted to make something fall. And one of my friends mentioned I should make something fall related, and she showed me a couple of pictures of blankets, and I just really got inspired. So I just wanted to thank my friend Kaylee for inspiring me to make this throw blanket for you guys. So I hope you enjoy. So for the fall throw blanket, this blanket measures 41 inches wide by 58 inches long, and I will give you the stitch multiple in order to make this bigger or smaller depending on your preference. Now if you want to make this in a different color, or if you want to make this in a solid color, use totally different colors, you could definitely do that. You can make this for a little boy or for a little girl. You can make this to match your home decor. It's totally up to you on what you want to do, and the color possibilities are endless. Now if you watched my previous video where I showed you how to make the simple ripple stitch, this is just a variation on that. The only difference is that I use different colors. So let's get started on how to make the fall throw blanket. So for the fall throw blanket, you're going to need 2 skeins of each of these 4 colors. The first color you're going to need is light sage, and this is all Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. So you're going to need 2 skeins of that light sage. You're going to need 2 skeins of that desert glaze, which is a nice pumpkin color. You're going to need 2 skeins of cranberry, which is a nice deep red color. And finally, you're going to need 2 skeins of cream. Now this to me kind of looked like an off-white or very, very pale yellow, so I really like that. So again, you're going to need 2 skeins of each of those 4 colors. And you're also going to need a size J 6mm crochet hook. Now for the blanket today, again you're going to be using that simple ripple stitch, and I'm just going to be starting with that light sage color. And for this multiple, you're going to need to make a chain that's in a multiple of 10 plus 2. For my fall throw blanket, I ended up making 152 chains. If you wanted to make your blanket a different size, as long as you have a multiple of 10 plus 2, you should be just fine. So I'm going to make a small sample swatch. So I'm going to make my multiple of 10 times 3, which is 30, plus 2, which is 32. Again, if you want to make the blanket the same size as mine, I chained 152. So to make a chain, you're going to yarn over your hook and pull through that loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I will meet up with you when I finish my 32 chains. And again, if you're making the blanket the same size as me, I made my chain 152 chains. So I will meet back up with you and we will begin row 1. Okay, now that you have your chain multiple, let's begin row 1. So for row 1, we're going to skip the first 2 chains, and this will count as your first double crochet. So the loop on your hook does not count. You're going to count 2 chains from your hook, so 1 and 2, and in that very next chain you're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 4 chains. So to make a double crochet, yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that completes your double crochet. Next you're going to double crochet in the next 3 chains, so you're going to have a total of 4 double crochets all together. So 2, 3, and 4. Now if you are a new beginner crocheter, you might want to get a stitch marker and mark that top of the chain 2, which is going to be right here, because remember that chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet. So just in case, you might want to put a stitch marker at the top of that chain 2, just so you know where the end of your row is. So after you make 1 double crochet in the next 4 chains, you're going to skip 2 chains, and then you're going to double crochet in each of the next 4 chains. So again, skip 2 chains, so 1 and 2, and in the chain after that you're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we just made our first valley. So whenever you are going to skip those 2 stitches or those 2 chains, that is going to form your valley. When you make more rows, you will see the little bit of a dip, and then you'll see the peak as we move back up. So after you made 4 double crochets, you're going to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and in that very next chain you're going to make 1 double crochet, and then you're going to make a double crochet in the next 4. So chain 2, and in that very next chain make a double crochet and make 3 more double crochets in the next 3 chains. And that is what your ripple is starting to look like. So you're just going to repeat this all the way down until you have 6 chains remaining. So again, you're at the valley, so you're going to skip 2 chains, so 1 and 2, and in the chain after that you're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 4 chains. So again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to do 2 chains, and in the chain after that you're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 4 chains. And again, you're just going to repeat this until you have 6 chains remaining. Okay, so once you get to the final 6 chains, you're going to skip 2, so 1 and 2, and in the following you're going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 chains. So 1, 2, and 3. And then in the very last chain you're going to do what you did at the very beginning. The only difference is you're going to make 2 double crochets. So that way you have 2 double crochets at the beginning and 2 double crochets at the end of your row. And again, as a beginner, if it helps you, make sure you use that stitch marker and put it in this very last stitch, as well as the very first stitch of your row. And the very first stitch again was the top of that chain 2. And that completes row 1. So as you can see, you have your peaks and you have your valleys of the ripple stitch. And you will just continue in this manner. So I did 2 rows of each of the colors, and I ended up doing 10 color repeats, and then I added that extra green on the very end in order to make both ends of my blanket the same color. So for row 2, you're going to chain 3 and turn. The chain 3 is going to count as your first double crochet. So now you're going to double crochet in the very first stitch. So you're going to skip this chain 3, which again counts as your first double crochet, and you're going to find that very first stitch right here and make a double crochet. And when you make the double crochet, you want to make sure you get both loops on your hook. Okay, so now you have 2 double crochets in this very first stitch. Next, you're going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches, which is this one and this one. And in the stitch after that, you're going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. When you come to that chain 2 space, you're going to make 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, all in that same chain 2 space. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go right underneath that chain 2 and just crochet around that chain 2 space, just like that. And then chain 2, and then make 1 more double crochet right into that same chain 2 space. And then you're just going to repeat. So again, 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Skip 2 stitches, and in the stitch after that, make 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. When you come up to that chain 2 space again, you're going to make 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, all in that same chain 2 space. Okay, 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Then when you get to the very end, you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And here's where that stitch marker might come in handy. So you need to make 2 double crochets in the very last stitch, and again that stitch is going to be the chain 2 from the very beginning. So you're just going to find that chain 2 and make 2 double crochets in this same chain stitch. And this is what 2 rows looks like. So now you're just going to repeat this pattern, and you're going to repeat row 2 over and over again for the entire length of your blanket. Now, I change colors after every 2 rows, and the reason why I did this is so all your ends are going to be on the same side of your blanket. Now, because this is a long throw blanket, I highly recommend after you do each of the sets, so the green, the orange, the red, and then the light or pale yellow, once you do all of those rows or that set, then I like to weave in my ends, so that way at the very end of my blanket I don't have a million ends to weave in. So you could do whatever you like, but that's just a little tip that I learned along the way with making this blanket. So after you do 2 colors, you can change colors however you like. So the way I do it is I make my last stitch, and instead of yarning over with that same color, I stop and then I cut my yarn. Make sure you leave enough for a tail. And then I pick up that next color. So that next color is going to be that orange color. And again, I leave a little bit of a tail, and then I simply just lay it over my crochet hook and pull through with that new color. And then I just give it a little bit of a tug, and then I begin my next row. So chain 3 and turn, and again you're going to make a double crochet in that very first stitch. One double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Skip the next 2 stitches, and in the stitch after that make 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. When you come to that peak or that chain 2 space, you're going to make 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, all inside that same chain 2 space. So again, you're just going to repeat row 2 over and over again. You're going to make 2 rows of each color for a total of 10 color repeats, and then when you get to the very end, you're going to add an extra 2 rows of the green just to keep everything in balance. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my swatch just to show you what the color changes look like, and I will meet back up with you and show you the end results. Okay, so I just finished my first set of colors. So again, you're going to have light sage, you're going to have desert glaze, cranberry, and cream. And that is what the 4 colors look like together. So again, this is going to be your first set of colors. So you're going to do this 10 times, and then after you reach your 10 times of this color change, you're going to add that light sage at the very end in order to make both ends of your blanket the exact same. So very beautiful, and I really love this fall blanket. And this fall throw blanket was definitely something I was completely obsessed with, and I probably finished it in about 3 or 4 days. So I really like the colors on this, and I thought it would just be a great accent piece to throw over your couch and just get ready for that upcoming fall season. And again, you have all your ends on the same side, which makes it helpful, and all you would need to do is after each section, which is these 4 colors together, I just went ahead and wove in my colors, and it kept it very nice and neat, and that way I didn't have so many ends to weave in at the very end. So again, this is my fall throw blanket. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope you give this blanket a try. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see all future videos by me. And as always, happy crocheting! Bye!